Siemanko guys. So just wanted to talk about what has been happening because I'm actually in Portugal now, and I think I mentioned it in one video, but I haven't really talked about like the whole scope of what I'm doing here. And uh, and yeah, it's been a while since I posted something, so I think it's a good time to let you all know what's going on. So yeah, I moved to Portugal January 1st. Because I didn't really want to stay in Poland, because I know that winter months in Poland are not so good. Poland is super depressing in the winter, especially January until March. It's really shitty because after Christmas, everyone kind of goes and hides into their cave, and yeah, it's just boring at the time. It's really depressing. Last year when I was there, it didn't even snow, so like the winter vibe wasn't even there. It was just really cold and rainy. And yeah, I told myself I need to go somewhere and I need to live in a country where I actually would enjoy the winter at. So yeah, I decided to go to Portugal, and my first plan was to go to Spain. That was the first place, because Spain is a country I like, because I went there a few years back with a friend, and yeah, I spent some time there, and I really liked the openness of the Spanish people. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Spain. But the thing was, I checked the COVID rules, and it said that you needed a COVID test to get to Spain, and I was like, I'm not getting a COVID test because it was way too expensive. It was at least 100 euros. So I had to decide on another country, and then I looked at the neighboring country, which was Portugal, and I was familiar with Portugal because I had some people that I knew there from work, because I worked for a dating company, and there were some people that basically lived there. I didn't really know them, but I knew the country because of them, and they always told me, yeah, it's a really nice country, and kind of like Spain, but it has its own flavors. And I was, yeah, let me check Portugal, and then I checked the rules in Portugal, and there was no need for like a COVID test. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go to Portugal, because like if I don't need a COVID test, I'll stay there for right now, enjoy the good weather, and then probably move to Spain when things open up again in Spain. So yeah, that was the plan. And so I bought myself a plane ticket. I think it was like January 20th or something, and I bought it for no, it was in December 20th. I bought the ticket, and then for January 1st, that was the flight time or flight date. And yeah, and it was basically I was just waiting for the days to pass. I was kind of trying to be productive and trying to organize myself for Portugal. I also messaged some people to do like work and travel programs over there, because my initial plan was just to stay in an Airbnb, pay for the Airbnb every month, and see if I could like survive that way. But then I realized that might actually be a really stupid idea, because they might close everything for like the next few months, and then I'll be stuck in a city and I won't be able to go out and do anything. So I found a Workaway like near Lisbon, and it was in a place where there was a lot of nature, or where there is a lot of nature. It's called Sintra. It's like a 30-minute train ride from Lisbon. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna contact this place. It's a hostel, and ask them if I could work there. And then a few days later, I got a response, and the guy was like, yeah, you can work here. Let me just call you. We'll talk on the phone. We'll get to know each other, and we'll set something up. And so yeah, called him, talked to him, everything was good. We set a date, and he told me all the details, and I was really excited because like I was leaving Poland. And honestly, it's a really, really scary feeling when you're going somewhere where you don't know anybody, where you are all alone, because everything depends on you. You have to put in effort, and you have to open yourself up to new people and do all this stuff. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna have a really hard time in that country. Let me put the camera here because my face is burning right now. So yeah, it was really scary for me. Um, but because I've traveled before and because I did stuff like this, I knew that everything was gonna be okay. And like, yes, the first maybe few days were gonna be really difficult, but after that I would probably get used to it and everything would be alright. So what happened is yeah, I packed all my stuff, and then January 1st came. I said bye to all my friends. I had like two really cool friends in Krakow at the time. We were doing day game and hanging out, and uh, and yeah, it was such a good experience, just having like two really close friends that I would go out with, and we would pick up girls and do all that stuff. And yeah, I knew that I was gonna miss that because in Portugal I knew no one, and I was gonna start working at a hostel. So yeah, January 1st came, packed my bags, woke up like really early because my flight was around like I think 11 or something, and yeah, headed to the airport, and it was such a good feeling, just like having my backpack and one of my luggages with me, and heading to the airport like really early in the morning, and there was really no one outside because firstly of COVID, so no one was really traveling. So I was like, there was only a few people on the tram, and then I took another train to the airport, and yeah, there was barely any people on the train. And I remember I got to the airport and I was really scared because I was like, what's gonna happen now? Like, are they gonna let me through? Because maybe the Polish guards, they would stop me, because they don't want me going to another country, or because there's something that says, in the regulations that doesn't allow Polish people to travel out of Poland. So I was actually really scared, but I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna try. Let's see what happens. And yeah, got to the airport, everything was fine. They checked I checked in, with my passport or my ticket, and then I went through, what do you call it? Well, you put your clothes, and they scan everything, and everything was fine. And that's like the most nervous part. I don't like these security check-ins, but I know we have to do them, right? And then yeah, I get into the airport, everything is cool. Now I'm relaxed. I think I took a coffee with some milk, and I just chilled and I recorded something. And then the plane, number gets announced, and I go to the area where I'm supposed to board, and I'm waiting in line, and I'm a little bit nervous because I haven't taken a plane anywhere for a long time, and I also had my luggage with me, so I wasn't sure that they're gonna let me on with my luggage. And my luggage, I paid extra for it because I needed to have two things. So I had my carry-on and my luggage, and I remember I was in line, and then came by the lady, and she was like, let me see your passport. I showed her passport, and she looked at my luggage, and she was like, ooh, that might be a little bit too big. Can you just try it in here so we see that it fits? And then I put it inside, and yeah, it was perfect, it fit, everything was okay. But that was also a really scary moment. And then I got on the plane, and when you get on the plane, everything is alright. It was such a relief that there was no more fucking security check-ins or whatever. I was on the plane, and I was on my way to Portugal. On the way, there was some like kids in the back just kicking my fucking seat the whole time. But I was really happy because I knew that I was going to be in Portugal in like the next few hours. And yeah, basically, we flew over France, and then I think we flew over Spain a little, and then we flew into Lisbon, and it was beautiful, 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 beautiful. I got off at the airport, went downstairs, and yeah, I entered the airport, and it was such a cool experience because the airport was so different, and I saw like black people, and I was like, oh shit, black people, and I love black people, because you don't really see them in Poland, and in the US, like there's a lot of black people or African Americans, and it kind of makes you feel like there's culture or something, and there's diversity. In Poland, you only have white people, and it's weird, and everyone's the same. But when you get to a country where there's a lot of diversity and you see a lot of different ethnicities, then you feel kind of like a sort of happiness. So I felt a happiness that I was seeing like different colored people. And yeah, I went to the bar. I ordered myself like a coffee and a croissant, and I sat by the wall and I called my friend, and I spoke to her and I told her, look, I'm at the airport, and we had a little conversation. And then yeah, it was time to go to the hostel, so I went outside and I spoke to someone, like a young guy my age, and he commented on my Naruto t-shirt or Naruto sweater, and we got into a conversation about that, and he kind of gave me directions and everything. And basically, yeah, then I took the bus to the city, where I didn't really spend a lot of time. I just kind of walked from one station to the other, and then I went to the train and I went all the way to Sintra, so I didn't really get to see Lisbon in the first few days. And then yeah, when I got to Sintra, I was also really scared because, again, I didn't really know anyone at this hostel, and I was new, and I knew that I would have to kind of be more open. And in Krakow, I wasn't really that open because, again, of the culture. It's a big difference in culture between here and Poland. So I got to the hostel, everyone was super friendly. I spoke to some people, there was even some people from America, so I got along with them. And I think the first few weeks at the hostel were really weird to me, because like, it's all these new people, and you kind of have to get adjusted to their personalities. You have to kind of adjust the way you do things to respect them, and make sure you don't cross their boundaries, because, like, if you have friends for a long time, you kind of know, and they kind of have certain expectations of you, or certain expectations of your personality, how you're gonna do things, or what you're gonna say, or how you're gonna act. And these people are completely new, so you kind of can't cross these boundaries, because, again, it's about the respect. And if you want to have like the respect in the long run, you kind of have to adjust a little bit, the way you do things. You can't just be yourself all the time, at the beginning, because, like, being myself is like, I'm crazy and I'm weird and I talk about weird shit, so I have to kind of calm that down for a little bit, and eventually I could share it. But that's what happened, is like the first few weeks were a little bit weird to me, and I adjusted. And then after a month or so, I started to get used to the people. I saw them every day, we had conversations, and everything was fine. And then I kind of started to express myself more and more, and yeah, they liked my personality. And so now, like, it's normal. Now we're just like a family, and we know how everyone is, and what personality each person has, so it's more natural. But yeah, I'm very happy that I'm here, actually, because when I got to Sintra, it was like a really magical place, because, as you can see, and those who are listening podcasts, you can't see it, but there's a lot of trees around, a lot of nature, and a lot of, like, biodiversity, right? So you have like all types of birds, all types of plants, trees, all this stuff, right? All types of flowers, and it's always springtime. That's the crazy part about here. That it's actually still winter. So the crazy part about here is it's winter, and the weather is really beautiful. It's sunny. Most of the days it's nice and warm. You get the cool air, which is actually good, because the sun over here is super, super hot. So some days I'm outside with my shirt off, and it feels so good. And I'm so lucky to be here, actually, because I know that if I were to be in Poland, it's probably still cold there, and most of the time it's really cloudy. So the weather is not so good where I was living in Krakow. I mean, you get a few sunny days here and there, but it's not like here. Over here it's like almost every single day. So yeah, it's very beautiful. And again, I'm living in a really sacred place. Because Sintra is like kind of isolated from the city of Lisbon. It's like 30 minutes away from it, and it's kind of in its own bubble. So we're not really affected by COVID, and we have a lot of like hiking trails and places to go to. And obviously, there's like the cafes which are closed for right now, but they're gonna open in about a few weeks on April 4th. And now they're open for takeaway. But what I'm saying is that yeah, we're kind of isolated from everyone, so we can do our own thing. And there's not a lot of police here, so you can walk with your mask off. And yeah, you can go hiking, you can go to different lakes, different spots, different palaces. They have a lot of palaces here. And we literally live in the center because we're a hostel, so we're close to everything. We're like a 5-minute walk from the center, which is cool. And I remember when I was in Krakow, I was also working at a hostel, and I was also like maybe a 2-minute walk from the center. So it's really nice having like the center really close, and but at the same time being isolated from like the big city. And if I want to go to the big city, I can just take a train over there. The train takes about, like I said, 30 minutes, and it costs like €3, but you can get a monthly pass. And I've been to Lisbon already, and I think Lisbon is a very, very beautiful city. Kind of reminds me of Barcelona a little bit, because because the weather and the trees and like the things, there's so many things happening in the city. And also another thing that kind of reminds me of Barcelona, like from Lisbon, is the cafes. So they have these like cafes where you kind of on the street and on the sidewalks they have like this booth. It's like a really big booth, like a really wide one, and they have a little coffee bar inside, right? And they have seating outside, and they have this like every few streets or something, so you can sit outside, drink your coffee, just look around, do whatever. And it's such a cool thing. I love this because obviously I'm an outdoor person. I like being outside. I like fresh air, I like walking around, I like interacting with like natural things. And so for me it's really cool, and I can even sit down and work outside, so that's another like bonus. And I've been to one of the cafes. I think it was sometime in January, because stuff was still open in January. They closed things up sometime in February, and everything's been closed until now. So now it's March 18th, but they opened like for takeaway on this Tuesday, so March 16th. And they're gonna open everything up again on April 4th, like dining in and I think gyms and all of that stuff. So now we're gonna be able to go out and do stuff. And I really need to kind of organize myself and organize what I want to do, because there's a lot of opportunity here for me. And obviously I'm really close to the city, and right now I'm on a really good like schedule, because I only work on the weekends and Monday, so 3 days in total, and I'm working like 6-7 hours a day, and then the rest 4 days I have free. So Tuesday until Friday I have free, which is good because I can take trips or go to the city if I want, or stay somewhere else. So I have a lot of freedom here, and I have a lot of time to work on my own projects, and it's gonna be like this into summer too. But I think in the summer, obviously, there's going to be a lot more people coming over. So the work is going to be a little bit more hasty, and I think there's going to be a lot more responsibility. But I feel that right now I have a really good schedule. Like I wake up really early, I work out early. I'm trying to work on my business every day. I'm reading like every day, and yeah, I'm socializing a lot with the people that are living here. I'm cooking for myself, and I'm doing all of these things that are kind of improving my knowledge and improving like my skills. So it's a really good thing. But like looking into the future, I need to really think about what I'm going to do here for the long term. because obviously I'm not gonna stay at a hostel for forever. So I need to really plan like strategically and make sure that I'm making the right moves, because I don't want to end up like staying at an Airbnb again and paying that monthly rent, and then all that money is just going to waste, and every month I'm having less and less money, and then eventually I'm gonna have to go either back to my parents' house or my grandma's house, which obviously I don't want to do. I want to be a responsible adult, and I want to be able to provide for myself. I want to make sure that I have income coming in, so that way I can pay for all my bills, pay for my rent, and I still have leftover, so I can save and invest into other things. And I think this is the year where I'm really taking some action and making things happen. And now again, I'm in this perfect place where I have the ability to do all of this and really move forward with my life. So I think I need to sit down a little bit and just really figure and think this out, because I have been thinking this out, but it's kind of been sitting on the back for right now because I'm focusing on so many things. So I really for like the end of this month, I really need to just make sure that my mind is clear and make sure that I know where I'm going, because if I know where I'm going and things are clear, this is just going to keep me on track, and I'm not going to be lazy, because I know that I have like a purpose, and I have like something that I'm aiming at. So I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. This was kind of a long one, but I wanted to share everything that's been happening, because I haven't done that. And I keep on planning on doing it. And I don't do it. But now it's nearing almost the third month of me being here, so I need to really put myself out there and let you guys know what's happening. So if you have any questions, whether it's about work and travel, whether it's about saving money, managing money, whether it's like developing good routines, or anything else, even travel, ask me, because I'll definitely answer back, and I'll give you some advice. Maybe you're going through something right now and you need some life advice. Definitely ask me, and I'll give you what I got. Okay. All right, so that's it. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and Shimanko.